Okay, last thing we'll look at on the subject of the State of the Union, more specifically, Trump's response to it. We looked at his real State of the Union, which was just him lying a bunch about the reality of America and all these different issues. Now we get to look at his live play-by-play, as it was being called, to the State of the Union. So in the moment, what was he saying on Truth Social, which he was posting on very aggressively? And it was a weird vibe, because he kept doing this thing where I think he was trying to sarcastically be nice to Biden, but then couldn't help himself and was aggressive, and then would be nice to him again. It was strange. Now, because there's a lot of truths here, as they're called, let me hydrate before we jump in. Okay, ready? And I even have a little presentation to go through so we can make this efficient. I will be doing, by popular request, a live and full play-by-play analysis of the State of the Union address. This is, of course, Trump on Truth Social, tonight on Truth at 9 p.m. If properly done, and if Joe has just a modestly good night, this speech has the opportunity to rival any of the world's greatest orators. So that's that kind of sarcastic thing, right? But then he flips back and forth in a strange way. Next post, and this is all in chronological order as the speech was going on. If democracy is unbroken, he should stop the weaponization of Republicans by the FBI and the Justice Department. Now, I think he misworded that because that sounds like he's saying the Republicans are being weaponized. The weaponization of Republicans by the FBI. Weaponization of the FBI on Republicans, to Republicans, whatever. Next post, he seems to be very angry, shouting in the mic when he's trying to come across as conciliatory. Holy smokes. Perhaps somebody should walk up to the dais, tap him on the shoulder, and say, "Be cool." Kevin McCarthy, who is a great guy, is having a seriously hard time staying awake. I give him credit for being true to himself and the cause. He is just not interested in what is being fed to the audience. Joe's the one who destroyed the supply chain. Now he's talking about how to rebuild it. No, COVID and the conditions that COVID caused destroyed this supply chain. Having a hard time getting the words out, even though the fake news will credit him with one of the great speeches of all time. I really want to see him improve. Come on, Joe, you can do it. See what I mean? Strange tone being struck here. He's absolutely screaming, infrastructure, infrastructure. Then he shouldn't be wasting all of our money on China-produced windmills and the Green New Deal. Tell me how much money has been spent on windmills, Trump, compared to our national budget. And the Green New Deal is not even something Biden supports, has not been passed either. Plus, green energy infrastructure is also infrastructure. Keep using the word, folks. Must be a nervous habit. We should all sit down and talk to him about this. Yes, Trump doesn't have any history of making mistakes or doing nervous tics during speeches. If I ever made a speech like this, and again, just notice all the random capitalizations all over the place. They run me out of Washington, D.C., but there's time left. Maybe he can save it. His wife, Jill, is looking lovely tonight in a beautiful purple dress, clapping and applauding with great enthusiasm. Okay. Pocahontas, which is what he calls Elizabeth Warren, is really going wild tonight. She almost has to be constrained. The only thing that will do it is the straitjacket. No comment. Stumbling, bumbling. He just can't get the words out. I don't want that to happen, but the world is watching and world is capitalized. Listen, Biden does have a history of stumbling and bumbling. This speech was actually pretty good, and at least he knows how to properly capitalize things. Look, he worked hard tonight. This is his closing message. Look, he worked hard tonight. It's not a natural thing for him. It never was, and it never will be. But you've got to give him credit for trying. I disagree with him on most of his policies, but he put into words what he felt, and he ended up the evening far stronger than he began. Guys, this isn't one of my bits where I read fake messages and go, no, actually he said this. This is actually what he said. Give him credit for that. Many things weren't mentioned that should have been, but that's for another time. I've done a little clip. Perhaps you'd like to watch it. We watched that in the last segment. Good night, everybody, and God bless America. So being very sweet to Biden at the end, I assume because it's like, hey, attached is the video where I just trash on the whole speech. And so it's kind of this, he did a good job, but watch my clip, a little bit of that sarcasm. But I think we need to work with honestly a lot within the far right on humor, just kind of how to strike the right humor tone and to really make jokes land, because I didn't quite get what was going on there. Or he just left a meeting about his 2024 campaign and they got some polling, I'm sure they've gotten this many times, that shows people thinks he's too mean, too aggressive, too name-cally, and try to have a little moment there where he's presidential. And then his speech, his real State of the Union, as it was called, obviously was riddled with lies and dishonest attacks. So there it is. If you were a Trump supporter, think about this, okay? Last night, what were you doing? Well, obviously you were watching my live stream of the Biden speech. Okay, we got that. Many other people weren't doing that. Can you imagine? They were sitting, maybe watching the speech, but I venture to say most likely not watching the speech. Watching, you can see the engagement he gets. It's a lot of people. Trump's telling of what was going on with the State of the Union. That's real. This is not a movie. Real people are reading that and going, many of them who think Trump's, as I talked to at, as I was told at the rally when I talked to many Trump supporters 2 weekends ago, that right now they're reading the true social messages of the president, meaning the person who's really in control, but also Biden's to blame for the bad things he's done as president, but also Biden's not really president because Obama's actually controlling everything and Kamala Harris is actually controlling everything, but Trump is in control through the military and is my real president, but is not to blame for all the bad things, even though he's in control of everything. So real stuff, guys. And I can't really process it with my brain. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.